Hello guys, I just wanted to preface this Power Rankings video by saying that there was a little bit of lag throughout this recording with Brad. Um, there's nothing really I can do about it. I can't edit it out, and we didn't want to record a whole video again, so just bear with it, and I apologize. One. Alright guys, what is going on? This is Brett, and we're back with week 4 of Power Rankings, and we're here with another special guest with Brad this week.
Hello.
We got our father Brad here, the other commissioner of the ASL.
That's right, the good one.
The good one.
The good one. The good. Yes.
Quote
Not the
unquote the good
likable
one.
friend, but the good one.
Alright, so I guess we'll just go ahead and jump in here. At number 14, Brad decided to be stupid and put himself here at number 14. So
I have this personal thing where I don't want to rank myself. It's not a big deal. We had a 15-minute conversation about it because Brett doesn't understand things. We're gonna move on.
anyway, the real ranking here, I put myself at number 14 because I mean I'm being like really like hard on myself, but like I suck. So I put myself at 14. I got freaking bodied in the last few weeks. So, I mean, I just feel like I deserve the last place spot here. Then at number 13, we both have Matt in the Washington Redskitties. Why don't you tell us why you decided to put Matt here at number 13?
So I had Matt lowest of the, and the reason I decided to do that is I feel like Matt has lost to been as impressive. So the people that he's losing to aren't maybe on their own. Some of them better than others, certainly, but he hasn't lost to one of the. Matt didn't lose to Cody or anything like that. It hasn't lost to Vish, who's having a good season. He did lose to Ian, who's having a good season, but otherwise, below 4.
Yeah. I decided to put Matt there because I feel like in his battles I've lost, like in between mine and his battles, I've lost harder than he has lost, with the exception of his battle against Melone. But that's happened to me like twice now, I think, of me getting like 5 or 4 or 6. I don't know. But anyway, I have him above me because I feel like I lost harder than he did. So number 12.
I mean, for me, this is where I decided to slot you. And yes, you say you've lost harder, but the differential is only 1 point difference. It's about 1 differential more than Matt has.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that I necessarily would agree with your statement, but I do think you've also lost to Splurge, who's having a okay, not so great season, but you've lost to Splurge, you've lost to Ian, and you've lost to myself. In some of the games you played were good. You took my game down to the wire with you, so I gave you a little bit more credit for that than maybe I gave Matt for some of his matches. So I bumped you up that 1 spot over.
I decided to put Texas here at number 12, right above Matt here. I feel like Texas has been doing not like terrible, but like okay, better than me and Matt. In his battle against you, it didn't look like he really did anything wrong per se. He did put up like a good fight against you.
No, I agree. It was a tight match, and that's why moving into the next slot. I have Texas in the next slot from my ranking. And I mean, he hasn't quite broken into that win column yet, but he lost to myself. He lost to Cody. He lost to Shadow, who's having a bit of a resurgence. So I mean, he's had losses, a good loss maybe, but he's had some decent losses. They're not horrible. And actually, his prep hasn't been bad either. Whereas some weeks, and really scratched my head a few times. Texas's prep maybe hasn't been optimal, but it hasn't been bad.
Mm-hmm.
Feedback though.
Yeah, I just like I just feel like there's a lot more to Texas that we haven't seen yet.
Robert would agree. Robert would say that you are correct on that.
Yeah. We just haven't really seen his full potential yet coming from him. But I decided to put Splurge here at number 11, right above Texas. He beat me. He lost to what? He lost to Bash, so that's kind of expected. Who did he? Wait, his only win is against me. Yeah, I think. Is it? Yeah, it is. He's the only one with one win, so I just felt it was right to put him in between the like the ones with no wins and then the ones with 2 wins. It's just right to fit him right there in the middle, sandwich him in between them.
When you're talking about, because I mean the theme of this video series is power ranking, right?
Yeah.
So you're not so much relying on the history of the coach. You're really more looking at this particular season, these particular performances. Guy that has 1 win, it's hard to jump him over the guys that have 2 wins.
Mm-hmm. So, did you talk about Splurge already?
I had Splurge at 10. I don't really think he's played bad in any match, really. He's had better performances, worse performances, but I think he's a guy that is going to have a better mid-season, beginning of the season. I mean, by the end of mid-season for him to have crept back up and approach that 500 rank.
Okay. I decided to put Bash here at number 10, right next to him, because I'm always really critical on Bash. I guess it's just because he was my old partner in Power Rankings and the friendship that we have. But
when he left you, and
he abandoned me and left me here to pick up the pieces of this friendship that he destroyed.
Crumbled it up. God, wow. I think it really speaks to the kind of person Bash is, that he would just take everything you guys have worked toward, wrap it up, and
Lord. But Jesus, but I have him here at number 10 because I still feel like this is the season of Shadow, so I put him below all of these other coaches. I feel, in my own opinion, I feel like that Melone and Static have played a little bit better than Bash has, in my own opinion. So that's why I decided to put, because all of these guys are what? They're 2-2, right?
Yeah, Bash, Shadow are all 2-2.
Yeah, they're all 2-2. I put all the other guys above them because I just feel like Bash has played the least best out of all the ones here on the screen.
Sure.
But why did you decide to put a Static here at number 9?
So I think Static for me at number 9 was actually a pretty easy call, because if you look at Static's wins, because as Brett says, I'm stupid and refuse to rank myself, which may change in future weeks. I'm not saying I can't be convinced. I'm just saying make a good argument for it. I don't know. But anyway, Static has beaten my ranked. He beat Matt, who I had at the bottom of my ranking, and he beat Brett, who I had at the second to last in my ranking. So he does have 2 wins, which puts him in the conversation, but his 2 wins are against the 2 coaches that have been least impressive thus far.
Yeah, I can see that.
As Bash, he beat Texas and Splurge, who I have in the next 2 slots. Matt and Brett, right? Yourself. So Bash's 2 wins, although maybe not a lot better, at least in my ranking, are somewhat better.
I decided to put Shadow here at number 9. You have him a little bit above, but I have him below. Again, I do feel like Shadow is going to do a lot better this season, but it's been I'm trying to find the words, but like his really strong wins were against some of the lower end coaches, kind of like how you were talking about how Static is. But he's doing pretty well. Even in his losses, he's put up a very good fight so far.
Yeah,
And
he has.
let's see, he beat Melone. That was a really close fight.
Shadows beat Texas and Melone.
Yeah. In his battle against Malone, it was down to he just had his Cartana out, and then it could have gone the other way if some prep choices had been made differently. But I mean, a win's a win in the end, and it was really close.
I agree. A win is a win. He did beat Malone, but if Malone had brought any attacking move on his what beetle was it? Was it if he had brought any attacking move, he would have won the game. So I did credit Shadow for the win versus Malone, but I still have Malone ranked higher because Malone did beat Peach, who you will see I have pretty high first power ranking for the season.
And so that goes into why do you have Bash here in number 8 on power rankings?
Well, and that's just as I was stating earlier, Statics wins my 2 lowest ranked coaches that I have just above the 2 that Static had beaten. So better wins, not a lot better, but still better wins. So I'm going to go ahead and give Bash that next step up. Like either one of them are just blowing the doors down for me yet.
And then here at I decided to put I can't even speak. I decided to put Melone here at number 8, who had a very commanding win against Matt this past week. And he also beats Peach, who is fairly high in both of our rankings. So his wins are pretty impressive, being 2-2.
I mean, anytime value into securing wins versus the top 4 or 5 guys, right? Anytime you beat a playoff team, I think you've accomplished something. And Malone potentially beat a playoff team in Peach, and so I think that's bumped him up over all of the other 2-win teams in my book.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of Malone this season. It's like decisions that he really makes in prep. He's been doing a lot better in his battles, but it's the prep that he chooses to bring that eventually, like if he didn't bring a certain thing or he forgets to put something on one of his mons that would win him the game, it's just these small prep errors that he's having that are giving him a hard time here.
Well, he's found a power niche with using Bruxish, excuse me, with the Swords Dance Aqua Jet set that he's been bringing. He's brought it a couple of weeks now, I think, and it continues to perform.
He just keeps going ham, honestly. So here at number 7, you decided to put Shadow over these guys.
Yeah. And that's, Shadow did, like I was saying, his wins are better than Sack and Bash, in my opinion. And even though Shadow beat Malone, I still have Malone a spot higher because he won fair and square, but Malone made a really simple prep choice that cost him the game, and he has the much better win over Peach. So Shadow, but I do like what he's doing. And Shadow's just a weird player. Fair assessment. If you draft Shadow, guys give him an A+ roster, you're gonna have the worst season of his life. A mid-tier team with some wonky speed. He torques something in there. It's unusual. He's able to find success using some unique monsters to those that have the really tiers.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just something weird about Shadow. You kind of hit you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I do feel like he's gonna perform a lot better in this season. Like I've been saying throughout all the weeks, I'm saying this is shadow season that I'm seeing at this moment. I feel like if he's gonna make a playoff run in any season, I mean, it's probably this one to be his first. That's
Yeah,
just
I
what
mean,
I'm
we'll
seeing
see.
at this current moment.
The test is to come. His wins are over Texas and Melone, which are not bad wins at all. Those are really nice wins, but they may not necessarily be either. So once he starts cracking into those playoff teams, if he's able to get a win or two against some of the guys in the top, yeah, he's got a shot.
Definitely. I decided to put Static here at number 7. I put him above Melone because mostly I just like, even though he beat people that are lower than him, his wins have been a little bit more commanding, I think. What was Malone's second win? He had the one over Matt, which was a 5-0, right?
Malone's beat Matt and Peach.
Okay. Beat Matt and Peach.
Static beat Matt and Brett. So they both beat Matt. Statics beat you. Malone beating Peach.
Yeah. Malone's commanding win was over Matt, and then Statics was over me. And I feel as though, like, Malone beat Peach up there, but I just feel as though, like, I don't know. It's just I really like Statics prep. It's like unorthodox, but it works. Not last season, but it's starting to work this season that I'm seeing.
He's got a roster that is going to lend itself to certain matchups. Static's going to have certain matchups where his 3 power mons, for those that may not have the rosters near them, he's got Mega Mawile, Hoopa Unbound, and Dragonite. 3 is probably going to have a way to break your team. Certain weeks, maybe 2 of those 3. And on those weeks where he has 2 of those 3 of great matchups, he's play really, really well. So I expect Static to accumulate a lot of wins. But, for me, in my rankings, next spot, because he has beaten Peach, and also because Melone again is 1 prep choice away. And granted, he still made the wrong choice, still lost. But if he had put 1 attacking move on that mon,
I don't know if you finished talking or if it kind of cut out for you at the end there.
I said Brett sucks, and
okay.
Missed that. I don't know how you missed that part.
Yeah, I wonder how I missed that part. Anyway, number 6, you decided to put Melone up here.
Yep. And I've been harping on him quite a bit.
Yeah.
This Peach, he made an unfortunate prep choice that cost him a 3rd win. He's beaten Matt. I don't know. I feel like this could be a return to his 5 shape. Was it season 5 that he made playoffs?
Season 6.
Season 6, excuse me. He had Malone historically, early seasons, a couple of bad days. Really well in season 6. The best part about his season 6 was his end game. He played great end game. And I always say this: if you're developing a competitive draft player, the hardest piece to figure out isn't prep, it's not lead, it's not predictions, it's end game. And he played a really, really good end game in season 6. And I'm seeing some of those similar things this season. So I'm hoping he can have another strong season, compete for the playoffs, in position to do that.
I definitely think that he can definitely pull back the victories that he did pull out in season 6 if he does just get his head there and he does perform well in that end game like he did in season 6. I decided to put Peaches here at number 6, who is one of the newcomers, but he's performing very well for being a newcomer in the ASL. He has Let me see. Who did he win against? He's
Beat
lost
Shadow, Matt, and Robert. He lost to Melone.
Okay, so, and like his wins were pretty good wins. I don't know. It's just like whenever I look at newcomers, I'm always very critical on them until they can prove themselves, and I feel like Peach is starting to prove to all of us that he is a good competitor here in the ASL.
I agree. I'll share more of my thoughts on Peach when I get him in my spot, but he's having a good season so far.
Yeah. Here at number 5, you decided to put Robert in the Carolina Pancham.
Yeah, and so for those of you that may be watching this that aren't actually in the ASL Discord server, quick plug, hop on into the Discord server. I believe the link will be below this video.
Yes, it is in the
But
description.
Robert is taking place for Vish, and he was a Weavile. He was a Weavile team. Vish will no longer be in the ASL, and so Robert is taking his place. So Vish/Robert, but we're just labeling it Robert because he's the coach going forward. But that team, anyway, beat Splurge. Pretty good season. Static, as we talked about, some really impressive breakers. That's going to be a tough matchup for anybody. He's beat Splurge, who I still think pretty highly of, even though he's got one win. I'm not discouraged by the things that he's bringing or the prep he's showing. So good performances. Spot, but I couldn't push him any higher.
Mm-hmm. This is where I decided to fit you into the mix, was at number 5 here. You've been getting the hacks beaten out of you this season. I don't know what it is. But
It's been a weird season.
Yeah, you've played well despite the hacks, though. I mean, if you can't at least like get it close. I mean, there's those, of course, there's those situations where it doesn't matter, but like, you've played well despite all of the things just shoved into your face, and I think that's something that we can all commend you for. But you do have more losses than a lot of these top teams here, so I decided to put you here at number 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting season. You never to face your opponent in the game itself, but I mean, it's just part of Mons, so it's just the reality of it. At the end of the day, I come down with a win or I come down with a loss, regardless of what happened. Week 4, I got to play Texas, which was a really fun match, and he played really well, and he had a really nice team. It was a fun back and forth, and I definitely enjoyed the match, and I appreciate his camaraderie and the fun we had there. So I'm not too worried. I'm going to figure out my stuff, and I'll do well. But I did not want to rank myself. I'll be fine. I'll find my way through, but definitely been a weird start to this season.
Funky.
No question about it.
So you said that you were going to talk more about Peach earlier, so you decided to put him here at number 4.
Yeah, Peach, he's nuts. His only loss, obviously, I have Melone just a couple of slots behind him, so I'm not viewing that as a bad loss at all. He beat Shadow, he beat Matt, and he beat Robert. So, in my ranking, he hasn't beat the best folks out there. But he did beat Robert in Robert's first week in the ASL. He's having a nice season, and he's beat him. So I like some of the things Peach is bringing. I also just like the way his team looks in match.
Mm-hmm.
He's making some of the just roster decisions that he's made. Late again, proving to be a strong threat. Performed well last season. Looks like it's going to continue performing well this season. Volcarona is always a fun mon, so I'm hoping to see that shine throughout the season. I just like what he's doing, like what he's got going so far. And of course, we'll see. The telltale is, Peach hasn't battled one of the top guys yet. He hasn't battled what I would say maybe in the top 3, 4. So we'll see when the heavyweight matchups start coming if Peach is able to keep it going, because we haven't seen him compete against the top of the ASL yet, as being his first season. But so far, yeah, he gets the thumbs up.
Yep. I decided to go ahead and put Robert here at number 4. He had a pretty hard loss. He lost to Peaches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost to Peaches in his first week in the ASL. A tough initiation, but hopefully he can pull it around. I decided to put him above you because the team that he did replace does have one more win than you do, so I didn't feel like putting him down too much because of that. But yeah, that's why I had him number 4.
Rankings. So at this point in the season, I have 3 wins. Just putting it out there for you.
At number 3, we decided to both put Ian here.
Ian is liquid garbage. Soul. Ready?
Why?
Just wait. Because if I'm going to be here and they're going to put my voice in power rankings, I'm going to trash talk Ian all the way up to week 9, man. Commissioner Ball's coming, and I can't say a good word about him. I can't. I don't like his face. I don't like his voice. Coming, baby. And the heat's coming. You just get ready. Just get ready, Ian. Get a comfy chair. It's gonna be heat every week, all the way till then. And man, what's our record in the Commissioner Bowl? Is it 5-2?
I have no idea.
Dude, you are really gonna regret life.
Oh my god, that's funny. Anyway, I have him here. I don't even know what to say. Holy crap.
We both have him at 3. He's having a really nice season. He's playing well. His prep's really good. Is to Vish. He did not lose to Robert. He lost to Vish, and that is not a bad loss at all. Vish is a tremendous player, and Vish always has had my respect. And I think he's one of the best coaches to ever battle in the ASL. Probably in my personal top 3 all time in the ASL. To me, losing to Vish is not a bad loss in any shape or form. Ian's playing well. He's prepping well. His choices in game are good. I've always thought Ian's ability to battle is one of the better. These are characteristics of all of our coaches in the league. The question has always come down, and Ian's success has always come down to effort and prep.
Mm-hmm.
No question about it. But did he put the time in that given week to do well? And this particular season, he's got some mons that are easy to prep with. I think B-Drill, Azelf, Doug Trio, they don't, themselves to a lot of great thought. They're usually just, put them in there, give them a really nice role, and let them do big things. Just a smart team to fit his schedule, because we all know IRL schedule will always dominate your prep desires. So I think he drafted smart, and he's playing really well so far.
Definitely. I feel like last season his whole schedule was all over the place because of work and everything. But like you said, with him drafting a team that will allow him to not really focus 100% on his prep, but something that's easy to prep with, that can work better with his work schedule. And I feel like that he has been, I'm not saying that he's been putting more time in, but I think he's thought more about his prep this season than he did last season. But he does have those wins to back it up, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him win even more, hopefully.
I hope so. Ian, he did make the one finals appearance in season 5, I believe, when TJ was able to get a title. But Ian has long been one of those coaches that when he puts in good prep, a very difficult person to beat. And so I'm looking forward to this season. Hopefully him staying focused, back and reminding people that he is an A-plus coach when he prepped well.
I guess we'll go ahead and move on to our last final two here. We both decided to put TCP at number 2. He's had some really nice wins, only losing to Cody so far, which isn't a bad loss at all. Cody was a tremendous battler. He's beaten you, Brad. He's beaten Splurge, and he has beaten Static. And his win versus you was very brutal a few weeks ago.
It was, and it was a really frustrating match for me because you that may not have watched recap, if they were doing recap then, or you may not remember it, he flinched my Charizard on 2 of the first 3 turns with his Zoroark. And the reason that was a crucial issue is because my Charizard was bulky Charizard, meant to take on problem. He left should have, but he played really well, and he played really well against me. He's played well in other weeks. His only loss is to Cody, who again is in that Vish category for me of one of the best battlers we've ever seen in the ASL history. So, not a bad loss, good performances, and he has a win against a typical playoff team and myself. So, and he gets to jump up to 2 for me.
Yeah. But I've always really liked, I don't know, it's like TCB has this, he's really good with this prep. His prep doesn't work for everybody though. Whenever he's helped me out, I haven't really done necessarily well because how he preps isn't how I like to prep. But TCP in my eyes is also maybe one of the better coaches that we've had in the ASL. Really consistent, being our only 2-time champion. Another thing to note there. I just feel like that his consistency is one of the things that makes him great here in the ASL.
I would agree, and I would go so far as may be silly. He has 2 titles in the ASL, but he's also maybe one of the most underrated coaches in the ASL. People would talk about how they're nervous to face Cody or they're intimidated to play Vish. Or the time he's going to consistently play well. And I believe if TCP had the time, the desire, and the drive, he could compete in any YouTube league anywhere. He's a phenomenal coach.
Most definitely. And then here at number 1, we have the Winston Weaviles, who will be replacing Cody in the ASL moving forward here. I guess we both decided to put him here mostly because, they haven't lost at all.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when you're talking about a power ranking and you've got a 4-0 plus 20 team, you don't really have a lot of options.
Yeah, you can't really put him lower, even though Cody won't be with us anymore. Sketch, who will be replacing him, is here at number 1. So hopefully he can retain that number 1 spot moving forward, but I guess we will see how the weeks play out.
And he's got the 1 win over a playoff team, right, in TCP. His other wins with Bash, Texas, and Shadow are decent wins. They're pretty decent, but if it's not first, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you're ranking if you're not putting that first.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that'll do it for Week 4 Power Rankings with me and Brad. I don't know if... Well, I can't even speak again. I don't know
if it's really good, though. No, when you do outros and videos, I'm so impressed. Autograph my baby.
You're impressed by what?
You.
Me?
Your outro. Yeah,
Why?
It was good.
Why is it good?
You ended the video. I think people don't really like it.
It's not done yet.
Hi, Ian.
Hello, Ian. But that'll do it for us in Week 4. We will see if we have found a permanent host for the power rankings yet. That will be up for debate.
Probably not, because I didn't rank myself.
But we will see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys back for week 5.